Bingo McDingo, or at least that's the name I use on the internet. Myth suggested that for her birthday somebody might like to put up a guest post on Draw Anyway, and there's only one thing that I can do and do well when it comes to artwork, and that's potato prints. Having spoken to Myth, she seemed quite happy. I was interested when we saw the original plan for Draw Anyway. It did suggest that one of the things she might be looking at were one-off prints, and I think that's pretty much what potato prints are. Unfortunately, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not an expert, but the thing is, I do enjoy doing it, and that's the key thing. And of course, if you've got children as well, they'll enjoy doing it too. It's really simple, it's really easy. I'm not saying mine is the only way, it's just one that I taught myself and seems to work. Okay, so this is what you're going to need.
A potato, a reasonably sharp knife, a felt tip pen to the colour of your choosing, a few sheets of paper, a paintbrush, some paints, I find it's easiest with poster paints, and finally an old plate. Okay, the first thing you need to do is decide on your design. We're going to start with something fairly simple with straight lines because that'll be quite easy to cut out. So let's do a star. Now that's a bit small and weedy, and in case of just such events, here's what I prepared earlier in fine Blue Peter style. Okay, so then once you've got your design, you need to match it up with a potato that's just about the right size. This looks to me like it's going to be a good match. So the next stage, take your potato, cut it in half. Okay, the deed is done. We have one half potato. Now what we want to do is to transfer the picture from the paper onto the potato, which is easier than it seems. This is why we use felt tip pen, because quite simply, pop it on, press down, and bingo, there we go, transferred directly to the potato. So then we cut it out. The way I do this is to start at the junctions of the lines, pop your knife in there and just work it gently out. Did you see that? Nearly lost a finger live on Draw Anyway. Then from the same junction, work your way back out. So you want it to be about 3 to 4 millimeters deep, and then very carefully remove that slice. And you'll see there, it's not quite gone deep enough. Take that bit out. Okay, and hopefully you can see that's the difference in the level. So we're looking for it to be about 3 millimeters deep. Okay, I'm going to cut the rest of this out. And there we have it, one finished star potato print. So let's get printing. One slight problem when you do this is that for some reason doing the cutting out makes all the potato juices rise up to the top, and of course that's going to interfere with the paint. So get your tissue and dab it down again, particularly on the top where it's going to be printed. Now, new piece of paper. Actually, let's use the old one. There's no point in just dabbing it straight in the paint, because all that's going to happen, well, let me see. You're going to end up with a splodge. You're going to end up with a perfectly printed star. There's every point in just dabbing it straight in the paint. Let's try that again. That's what the plate was for, by the way. One thing you might want to try and do is avoid getting your fingers in the paint, because of course that adds to the print. It depends how fussy you are. Obviously I don't mind the occasional bit. And there you go. There's your star. The other alternative, of course, or the alternative, not the other alternative, is to just paint directly onto your print. That way you can actually control the amount of paint that goes on, and in theory you should get a slightly better finish, as long as you don't twist or shake as you're printing, like I tend to do. Aha! You see, all my ideas come to nothing. Frankly, I just splodge it in the paint and print, and there you go. So, that's our first potato print. That was our first one. Let's go for something a little bit more ambitious, shall we? Let's go for some letters. B, Muck, D. Excellent. I don't know if you can see that, B/D. I'm having to use the curve of the potato there to use the D, to make the D. But I think that's going to work okay. So let's cut this one out. Of course, this goes back to what I was saying earlier, is you don't need to worry because, of course, you can draw the right way round. When you put it onto the potato, it is reversed, and then when you print, it'll be the right way round again. Bang. So, there we go. We've cut that out. Give it a quick dab down with the tissue. I'm going to stick with my putting the paint on method. Of course, this one's going to be upside down. Eek, eek. There you go, just to prove a point. I'm going to sign off with just one more. There we go. And then, to enhance, and there we have it. My name surrounded by stars. Can't fault it.
So, what have we learned today? Well, we've learned that potato printing isn't an exact science, which is only to be expected because you're dealing with organic materials. Okay, so number one, don't choose too big a potato. If you do, you might be tempted to be very grandiose with your designs. Simple shapes, straight lines, obviously tend to work best. Number two, when you cut your potato in half, make sure you try and do it as evenly and straightly as possible. If you wobble with the knife, you're going to end up with an uneven surface, and that's going to affect your print. Number three, forget about it. Just enjoy it. Get a potato, cut it up, do some printing. That's all.